Hello everyone, this is Eiri, and depending on how you look at it, I was one of the first Vtubers in the world. Now, that kind of claim requires a few asterisks. When I started, best as I can tell and remember, the Japanese VTuber community had only been around for about 6 months. There was also an English avatar community that used programs like Facebook and VR chat, but they didn't have a collective name for themselves. Where I come in is that I decided to get my start by using Japanese indie software made by that community, and not VR chat, so I appended the label VTuber to myself. It was only around a year later that I believe English content creators started to adopt the word VTuber itself, and also look at Asian-made software. So in that sense, I was one of the first. It's a bit of a technicality with semantics, and I never managed to become well known or anything like that. So it's a badge of honor that I don't really wear unless it's in an introduction video like this. All in all, the takeaway is that I was literally here at the beginning of English VTubers and managed to bear witness to everything that's happened since. I mainly talk about video games, but not in the way you might expect. I like to study how they work. I look at the gameplay systems, the technical structure, and the storytelling style. I like to try to figure out what does and doesn't work, and I also try to pick a format that I think works best for a specific game. Sometimes it's a breakdown, sometimes it's a live stream or some highly edited comparison. I've tried to be funny a few times, but I have no idea how it lands, really. That's the short of it, but I've been studying video games all my life, and even when I go into other subjects, it inevitably seems to turn back to some of my experiences in games. I've dabbled with a lot of stuff: music, writing, subtitles, interface, input design, the psychology of a level's layout itself, but in the end I end up playing a game and try to figure out if it's doing a good job of getting me to the fun part in time. I know that's not quite the standard VTuber experience, but I've kind of come to terms with doing things a bit differently from most. I mean, I could give you a cute fictional backstory if you really want, like, hey, I'm a high elf from a medieval snowy country that got reverse isekai'd into a cyber world, and now I play video games and mess with tech because it's really cool. Pun intended. But, the most you'll probably get from me is a set of visual motifs, like the background image, as you can see here, and my colors. It's kind of a leftover from the time I did try more seriously, but yeah, sorry about that. I do love seeing fan art though. I've given several different answers to several different people over the years, but the short of it is that I think it solves, well, several different problems for me. Videos need a face, whether it's figurative or a literal branding. Like it or not, faceless videos run into some limits. So I wanted some kind of visual representation of myself to act as a visual filler. And I also needed a distinct watermark that would deter people from stealing. As I've done more of this, I've realized that content theft and flipping is actually a serious issue that you can't do much about. I've also been victim to content theft as well. I've gone viral at least once with some of my news reporting, but most of the millions of views went to popular YouTubers that screenshotted my work and simply reacted to it instead. I also know the whole avatar thing is a little bit outdated. I'm still figuring out how to balance this old stuff or try to find time to redesign. At the very least, I've tried to reduce it and leave it in the corner, mostly when I speak to you directly like this, or particularly for live streaming.
This is not a foregone conclusion. When one falls,
on continue. Debout. On doit trouver un endroit sûr.
You know, when I was editing the second half of this video, there was something about it that felt really inauthentic. I mean, I'm reading from a script once, so that's one part of it, but I was starting to say some stock lines that was kind of dodging the question. I don't watch VTubers. I used to skim them, but I always came from a technological perspective first. since that's what I like exploring in my free time. It's very adjacent to video game software, and in the end, what I actually watch on the regular are channels like Veritasium and Smarter Every Day. But I can't really hope to match their kind of material since I rarely talk about science as it is. It's been a couple years now, but the theft and dismissal of my one and only attempt at science research is probably the one thing that makes me think I can't give this up. VTubers aren't taken seriously, and reaction videos are cheap to make since you're just looking at someone else's work. I want to be better than that, and also move past it, because, well, sometimes there isn't any justice. It's just you and what you make of it. When it comes to goals, I think in my case, it's better to list out what I don't want. I've tried a lot of stuff, so that means I've had a lot of dreams. When I was younger, I would have liked to study under the best, or work with the best. Unfortunately, half of them died before their time, and I really doubt I can join the other half. Working under Hideo Kojima would be brilliant, and far more meaningful to me than just a cameo in his game, but I don't think I can get there from here. I haven't worked out the courage to send in a job application. As for something more relevant to YouTube, here's what I don't want. I don't want to make something cheap with low effort. I've had to make some of my stuff with low effort, but that's because I have time restraints as well, and I need to cut stuff out or do it in one take. I'm taking a big risk here by redoing this thing, by the way. I also don't want to compromise my integrity. Everything I do is to my very best and completely honest. That means I make everything myself and disclose what I can. It's really, really time consuming, especially when it comes to getting secondary footage. I keep running out, to be honest. And finally, I want to leave things behind. And I don't want to leave things unsaid. I've had people tell me that I'm still young and shouldn't worry, but my feelings changed after I nearly died a couple times. If nothing else, maybe that's the common thread for my work. Anyway, I think I've spent enough time on this self-reintroduction video. I could say more, but maybe that's enough for now. Maybe this answers some of your questions. Maybe it doesn't, and I need to make some sort of FAQ video later. I am, after all, constantly trying new ideas, and that means I'd love some suggestions as well. You can comment or join my Discord, but a subscription means a lot to me too. So, yeah. That wasn't really any kind of cutesy pop star anime intro, was it? I mean, maybe that's my VTuber gimmick.